Another signing today. Scott Parker is the latest recruit, arriving in a £10 million transfer from Charlton. It has been a very acrimonious couple of weeks. We shall be crossing live to Stamford Bridge to hear from Scott Parker and his new manager, Claudio Ranieri, in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, as Aisha said, very acrimonious. Alan Kirbishley said it's left a bad taste in the mouth. Of course, Scott Parker's played for Charlton since he was 8 years of age, but Kirbishley said from the moment he heard Chelsea were interested in him, he hasn't wanted to play for us at Charlton. It's been a very difficult time. They said to Roman Abramovich, remember the Charlton chairman said, get lost, after they rejected a second offer. Well, a third offer has come in and they've said, absolutely, yes. OK, time's done. He doesn't want to play for us. You can have it. His deal is worth £10 million, and that includes all the payments to the agents and the Premier League, so the whole package worth £10 million. He has signed a 4.5-year contract. His squad number is number 19, and he will not play against Charlton next week. Of course, that was just too much to bear for Alan Kirbishley. Part of the deal was Parker could not play against Charlton next week. He could feature against Blackburn on Sunday, of course, though. And Carlton Cole, who's on loan at Charlton, that has been extended for another year. Well, Scott Parker transfer details. There it is, just as I've told. Let's just confirm it. A £10 million fee, inclusive of all the costs, payments to agents and the Premier League. It's a 4.5-year deal. He'll wear the number 19 squad. He's one of 15 midfielders at Chelsea now. They spent well over £100 million on midfielders alone. Carlton Cole's loan is extended to the end of the 2004-05 season, and as we've said, Alan Kirbishley said no way can he play against Charlton on February the 8th, but he should make his debut at Blackburn on Sunday.
These are the skills that persuaded Chelsea to part with a reported £10 million for Scott Parker. The Charlton midfielder will be paraded at a press conference at Stamford Bridge after passing a medical last night. Charlton were determined to hold on to their man, but have now been persuaded to part with their...
Well, we'll leave that because Scott Parker and Claudio Ranieri have made their entrance. And as we said, this could be very interesting. Alan Kirbishley's not been too nice about his former player. Claudio Ranieri, though, he's picked up yet another midfielder as they settle down. Let's hear what they've got to say. This is live from Stamford Bridge.
So if we'll start with Scott, we'll talk about that a bit later, but Paul's going to say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming today. This is a very important day for Chelsea, and what we'd like to do is introduce you to an exciting new addition to the Chelsea squad. On behalf of the directors of Chelsea Football Club, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Scott Parker, who has signed with Chelsea today for a contract of 4.5 years. As most of you know, Scott is a player whom the club has had a long respect for, long regard for, and we are delighted that he's eventually come to Stamford Bridge. He brings a range of great attributes to the squad. His technical ability, of course, pace, character, stamina and adaptability. And he will be an integral part of our plans in the short term and the long term. Scott's signing is also, I think, a very strong indication that the future Chelsea will be a very exciting blend of the very best English players with the very best international players. And for sure, moving forward, Chelsea will always have at its heart a core of the best that the local talent can produce. This season in particular, we've all noticed that Scott's performances have improved dramatically. That has been signalled by his selection for the England team. and I think it is only appropriate on this occasion to pay tribute to the coach at Charlton Athletic, Alan Kirbishley, who has known Scott for a long time and has nurtured his development, and it's someone that we have full admiration for. And in fact, such is our satisfaction with the work that we do with Charlton, that we have extended the loan period of one of our younger stars, Carlton Cole, for a further season. So the relationship with Charlton is very positive, very amicable, and we look forward to working with them in the future along the same lines as we have done for the past few years. What I'd like to do in the first instance is answer any questions you have specifically on the deal, and then I'll invite Claudio to talk about Scott.
Thank you very much. It's finished for me.
Paul, could you break down the exact terms of the deal in terms of the £10 million, including all the fees?
We prefer not to do that, actually.
Scott, can I ask how much?
Hang on, sorry, can we take Claudia first? Then we'll go to Scott.
Yeah, just two words, because you know me very well. Always we are looking for the young champions, and Scott is one of them. I believe in him, and now I am very, very happy. He's strong, he's young, fantastic quality. Paul said everything about Scott, and I agree with him. Nothing. Welcome aboard. And then, you know, I am Tinkerman. Don't worry about anything. We are a big group. In front of you there are a lot of sharks, but you know that, okay?
Can we take questions for Claudia then? Okay, will you play, when will you play?
I think Sunday. I spoke with him a few minutes ago. He's working well. I know him very well. He's a positive man, strong man, and I'm sure he can give me a lot of it. He's a young experience, but a lot of his strong character.
Claudio, how long have you effectively been after Scott?
2 years. Since 2 years. Yeah. I like the young English player, and he showed in the last 2 years a fantastic performance. More or less like Frank Lampard, up and down, strong, work hard, good quality, shoot a goal very well, defend very well. Is a complete, and I'm sure he'll go to the champion, Europe Champion League. European. Yes, European champion.
You joked about it there, but how difficult is it going to be for Scott to actually get into the Chelsea midfield?
Now it's easy, because I don't have a midfielder, and for him now it's easy. But it's important now to understand my philosophy, to understand how Chelsea play. But I'm sure he comes with us and just change the shirt. I push a lot for him, because in my opinion it's important to put in the squad that you know the English player. His mentality is my mentality, and I'm very happy to have him here with us.
Do you see Scott taking a lot of the weight off Frank Lampard's shoulders with him being a regular player?
Scott, Lampard perché sempre giocava Lampard, adesso poi mettere Scott con Lampard.
Yes, Scott gave me a lot opportunity, and now I'll check if some my midfielder like Frank and Claude can have some rest. But I know Frank, I know very well, also Claude, they don't want to rest, and I am happy.
So where do you see him playing in the majority across the midfield?
Dove vede giocare in centrocampo?
In every position of the midfield. You know, I like to change system, and he can play in every position. Of course, he likes to play in the middle. When we play with the diamond system, he can play in everywhere. When we play 4-4-2, normal 4-4-2, he can play in the middle, but I think he can play also in the wide position. Of course, with other characteristics, but he's okay.
How will this affect Charlton's ability, or the transfer will affect Charlton's ability to challenge Chelsea in the league?
Questo affetterà il Charlton di fare
No.
il Chelsea nel campionato?
No, I think no. I think no. Charlton is a good team. He's playing well, and also without Scott, they won, no, last match.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Chelsea now. For me, it's very important.
Anything else for Claudio?
Claudio, do you see Scott as someone who can third on the right-hand side? Because that's been the most unsettled position, hasn't it? Really?
Se pensi che Scott può giocare sulla destra, perché questo non so che davanti al Chelsea, perché sono sulla destra.
Ci manca Chelsea. Why? I have a lot of players. Now I study the system, I study the condition of my players, and then I decide where put Scott.
But he can play anywhere.
He can play in everywhere.
Claudio, you're developing a very English core to your team. Can you just reiterate how important the characteristics of English players are to you at Chelsea?
You know, it's very important. For me, the block is important. And now I have a very good young English champions and very, very lucky man.
Claudio, yourself and Arsenal and Manchester United have all bought big players. Who's done the best in January?
I don't know. In January it's not important to be the best. In May is better.
Okay, should we take questions for Scott now, please?
What are your thoughts on the move, Scott?
Obviously, very, very excited about it all, and really, you know, it's gone on for a long while now, and obviously couldn't wait to it all be done, really, and just really looking forward to getting in there and being part of the lads and becoming another team member, which hopefully we can go and push for honours, really.
How determined were you, once you knew of Chelsea's interest, to come to Stamford Bridge?
Yeah, well, obviously it's been well documented since the transfer window opened that, you know, obviously Chelsea were interested in the different things that have gone on, and you know, I've said before that I don't think it would be an issue if it wasn't a top 3 club. You know, I'd still be playing for Charlton, and that was probably one of the main reasons I did sign a contract in the summer. I said that, but it is a top 3 and it is Chelsea, and it's a team that are going places, and it's something I want to be part of, really. You know.
What would you like to say to Charlton fans who are, I guess some of them might think they've been let down in some way?
Yeah, you know, obviously different things. Obviously, I've heard that disloyalty and stuff like that, and I can understand it, and I understand the Charlton fans, you know. But all I can say is that I've been there for 12 years, and you know, since I broke in the team 4 years ago, all I've done is give 100% and never really let them down. And if I have let them down, probably the next game I'll give them 200%, and that's the way I am, really. And I just hope they understand my situation. You know, it is a hard situation in life. Sometimes decisions come along, and which sometimes you can't refuse. And I just felt that this was an occasion which I just couldn't let slip by, really. You know, and Charlton have been excellent to me, and the fans have been brilliant. You know, they've been a driving force behind me ever since I come into that side. And so has Alan Kirbishley. You know, he's obviously given me the chance, and I really appreciate that. Everyone at Charlton, really. You know, even down to obviously the training ground staff. I've been there so long, and obviously I felt so part of it. And obviously now it's a new start, and this is where I want to prove myself.
Alan Kirbysley has been quite outspoken in his criticism of your attitude since this has happened. Has that hurt you at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I liked it. It has hurt, but I mean, you know, Alan's going to be disappointed. You know, he's seen me grow from obviously a young boy to obviously now. So, you know, I was probably a massive part of his team, and you know, Charlton have done so well that we've progressed so well, and obviously fourth now, and obviously he didn't want me to go, and I can totally understand that. But like I just said, you know, at the end of the day, there's opportunities that will come along which you just can't refuse. It's just like any walk of life, isn't it? In any man's job, you know, when there's an opportunity to go and better yourself and obviously become a better player for it and stuff like that, you can't refuse it, and that's the situation I was in. You know, it's nothing against Charlton, it's nothing against anyone, you know. And like I said, you know, I love them fans. They were brilliant to me, and you know, I just hope that when I do go back, it'll be a round of applause, because I feel I deserve that, you know, for what I've given the fans and for what I've done for Charlton and how I've played. I feel that I deserve that, and hopefully that'll come.
And how well do you know any of the lads here?
Yeah, I know them very well, you know. Obviously, I know JT from when we was younger, and obviously I spent a year at Lillishall with Coley, so you know, it was a massive factor. You know, there's a lot of English players here, and it's helped a lot really in my decision, because as an English player, you're coming into a squad which you're quite familiar with in the faces and that. So hopefully it won't take me too long to settle down, and you know, I can just get on with it now.
Have you and Alan Kirbysley parted amicably? Has he had any?
To be honest with you, I don't want to get into a war of words with Alan. I don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Alan was superb for me, and that's all I can say. You know, I can't speak more highly of Alan. You know, he gave me a chance. You know, at the end of the day, I fought for my chance and I got it and I took it, and I didn't look back. And you know, Alan's been superb, and so has everyone else at Charlton, really. You know, and I understand the disappointment. You know, I can understand that, but like I said, in life, some opportunities you can't turn down, and this was one of them.
Is this good in terms of your international development, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think.
So you may not play as many games?
Yeah, of course, I understand that. I understand that. I'm not going to play as many games as like I did at Charlton, but you know, that's what I want. You know, I want that challenge as a professional footballer. I've been in the Premier League now for 4 years for Charlton, and I've progressed. You know, and obviously I've played, and you know, I wanted a new challenge, and I've got a challenge now. You know, I'm coming to Chelsea, and I know I'm not going to play as much, but you know, when I do play, you know, I just want to let everyone know what they're going to get from me, and you know, I'm going to give 100% and try my hardest for Chelsea and for the team. You know, because at the end of the day, it's a team thing. You know, so whether you're not playing or not, you're still part of it, and that's what I feel here. You know, I feel I'm joining a squad which is a team. It's going to be a big team effort, and you know, I'm not going to be used to all the games as well. You know, so maybe not playing every week might help me out. So who knows?
Well, there you go. That was Scott Parker. These are the details of the deal. £10 million fee inclusive of all costs, 4.5-year contract. He'll wear 19. Carlton Cole, his loan has been extended, and of course he will not play against Charlton on February the 8th. A man whose name came up very many times, who wasn't there, was Alan Kirbysley, of course. Kirbysley, spoken about many times. We'll talk more of that in a moment. Let's get back to Scott Parker.
And I feel I'm doing that, and I feel it's a new challenge for me. It's going to be hard, but that's what I'm willing to do. You know, I'm going to get my head down. I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to try and force myself into the side and do well.
Chelsea's next home game is against Charlton.
Yeah.
As part of the deal, you're not going to play in that game. Would you have liked to have played against Charlton?
I don't know really, mate. I think maybe it was the wise thing. You know, obviously it's going to be very emotional for me, because obviously I've spent some great years there, so it is going to be quite tough. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to obviously see the lads and get talking to them, because you know, they've been superb as well. You know, and that's probably a main thing. And I look forward to the game really. You know, and probably in hindsight, it's probably the best thing that obviously I didn't play.
What do you feel you have most to gain from coming to Chelsea?
I feel I can become a better player, and that's the bottom line really. I feel at Charlton I've progressed and I didn't know how much more I could progress at Charlton, and You know, there's only so much as a professional footballer you can keep going. You know, now I've took it onto a new level, and now I feel I can become that bit more of a player that I already am, and I can learn. You know, I can learn off the manager and off the other players, and that's what I want to do. You know.
Shall we open it up to Blackburn then? Any questions on Blackburn?
No, can I just ask on a slightly different subject about the winter break? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm very happy if there will be a winter break. The players need, it's important also for the injury. It's very, very important for everybody, Do
you think it help the England national side as well?
Yes, of course, because a couple of weeks can help also the fans to save some money after the Christmas. But everything is right. Everything, the pitches, everything. And the players are working hard during all the year, and a couple of weeks is important to give them some rest. Thank you.
What is the situation with Veron and Crespo?
Veron had an operation. Now, maybe the next week he come back. I read on the newspaper 3 months, but I think if everything is positive, maybe we can cut 1 month. And Crespo should be start next week with the first team.
How about Terry?
I don't know. Now I speak to the medical staff about Terry, about Robert Hood. I don't know in this moment. The scan said there is no broken, and that is very, very important. But now it's important to check him tomorrow if he can run or not.
Paul, you had till Monday afternoon. Is this the last signing, or?
We'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Is there anything you can tell us about the Czech goalkeeper? What's his name? Petr Kech, the Rennes president, apparently today has said that things are fairly close.
I think that's a reasonable statement. What we'd like to do, of course, is to give you the full details of that if and when it materialises. But again, that's been well documented, it seems, by the selling club and by his agent about the progress, and we're very positive that that will materialise. Yes.
But that is for the summer, rather than
summer. Yes.
Okay.
Anything else on Blackburn?
What are Damien Brooks' chances of featuring in that game?
Next match, Blackburn. I think no. No. I think it's not ready yet. I hope for the next match against Charlton.
What sort of threat do you think Blackburn posed to your team?
My strategy?
What sort of threat did Blackburn pose? Quite a different match to last week.
Who knows? It's another our bogey team. Blackburn and Charlton together. It's a bad threat. But we'll show our character, and that is important.
Would you rather be playing matches like the Blackburn game rather than the Scarborough game every week? Do you think it'll be easier?
I like it to play. It's not important the opponent. I want to play in everywhere, giving respect to everybody. Okay.
Question for Paul. What does your future hold now?
Well, technically, I'm occupying this position until Sunday, when Peter Kenyon assumes the position of Chief Executive, and the expectation is that I will continue with the club in a capacity to be determined.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. If we could just roll down the television.
Well, there you have it. Scott Parker now plays for Chelsea. You heard the name of one man who wasn't amongst those three at the top table, Alan Curbishley. He came up a lot. They're bending over backwards, Chelsea, to try and smooth the waters. Curbishley, of course, said this deal has left a bad taste in his mouth. Paul Smith, the interim chief executive, well, he's there until Sunday anyway, and he says that it's appropriate to pay tribute to Alan Curbishley, full of admiration for Curbishley, and as a result of the goodwill between the two clubs, they've extended that Carlton Cole loan period for another season. He says it's a very amicable relationship with Charlton. Scott Parker, of course, says, well, he was hurt by the criticism by Curbishley. He, of course, didn't want the player to go, but he does understand where Curbishley was coming from.
Certainly, Scott Parker went on to say that if it had been any other club, if it hadn't been a top 3 club, he would have turned them down. He said that was the reason he signed that contract in the summer. But the fact it was Chelsea and a club that is going places, is in the top 3, he felt that it was just an opportunity he could not turn down. He was very, very keen to explain things, to make it clear to the fans that it was nothing personal, it was nothing against Charlton, but he says in life, decisions come along in every walk of life and opportunities come that you cannot just turn your back on. He says he appreciates everything Alan Curbishley has done for him and even the ground staff, the training ground staff, but this was just too good an opportunity to turn down.
Indeed, interesting that Chelsea have been chasing this young man for a long, long time. 3 years, said Claudio Ranieri. He says he likes young English players. He says they're like Frank, they go up and down and they're strong. And he said he's pushed a lot for him. He did remind him that he is the Tinker Man, which of course means he's not going to play every game. Scott Parker didn't have a problem with that. He said, I just want to improve my game and I'm very aware that I won't play every game. And he felt that he couldn't progress any more at Charlton. So there you have it. Scott Parker now plays for Chelsea.
He certainly does, and Chelsea's game at Blackburn is live on Sunday on Premiership Plus. It's a big Sunday for Chelsea because
It cost Chelsea £10 million. He's poised to make his debut at Blackburn on Sunday.
There's no guarantee of a place in the team, of course, but Scott Parker is a Chelsea player at last. Claudio Ranieri revealed he'd been after the midfielder for 2 years. For his part, Parker says he's moved to Stamford Bridge because he wants to improve.
I feel I can become a better player, and that's the bottom line, really. I feel at Charlton I've progressed and progressed and progressed, and I didn't know how much more I could progress at Charlton. And you know, there's only so much as a professional footballer you can keep going. You know, now I've took it onto a new level.
I push a lot for him because, in my opinion, it's important to put in the squad that you know the English player. His mentality is my mentality, and I'm very happy to have him here with us.
But while Parker was settling in, he's well aware of the ill feeling he's left behind at the Valley. Alan Curbishley said the transfer left a bad taste in the mouth. Parker had this message for Charlton fans.
I just hope they understand my situation, you know. It is a hard situation. In life sometimes decisions come along and which sometimes you can't refuse, and I just felt that this was an occasion which I just couldn't let slip by, really, you know. And Charlton have been excellent to me and the fans have been brilliant, you know. They've been a driving force behind me ever since I come into that side. And so has Alan Curbishley, you know, he's obviously given me the chance and I really appreciate that.
He's in line for his Chelsea debut at Blackburn on Sunday, but as part of the deal will not feature in Chelsea's next home match against his former club the following weekend. As part of the Parker deal, Carlton Cole is set to stay at Charlton on loan for another season, and although Parker is likely to be Chelsea's only transfer window addition, the club confirmed they're just days away from a deal to sign the Rennes goalkeeper Peter Cech in the summer. Ian Bolton, Sky Sports.
Now this is how the Parker deal breaks down. The fee's £10 million, inclusive of all payments to agents in the Premier League. He has signed a 4.5-year deal and will take the number 19 shirt. Charlton have also made Chelsea extend the loan of Carlton Cole until the end of next season, and Parker will not play against Charlton next weekend. That was a condition of the deal made by the selling club.
Told this programme just how unhappy he was at Scott Parker's transfer from Charlton to Chelsea. Well, this afternoon the midfielder put his side of the story, saying the opportunity was just too good to turn down.
Scott, round here again, please, mate. Scott.
I don't want to get into a war of words with Alan. I don't want to be, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Alan was superb for me, and that's all I can say. You know, I can't speak more highly of Alan. You know, he gave me a chance. You know, at the end of the day, I fought for my chance and I got it and I took it.
Heartfelt, but going on his response yesterday, unlikely to win over the manager he's left behind.
I must admit the last 3 weeks have left a bad taste in my mouth. I've not been happy with the way the thing's been conducted, but you know, we have to move on.
The only manager with a smile on his face this morning, Parker's new boss.
More or less like Frank Lampard, up and down, strong, work hard, good quality, shoot a goal very well, defend very well. Is a complete.
While Ranieri now talks in terms of hundreds of millions, at least Alan Kirbishley has for him a fortune to spend on new players, and he intends to plough every penny of the £10 million raised from Parker back into the squad, a legacy which Parker hopes will endear him to the fans he leaves behind.
Like I said, you know, I love them fans, they were brilliant to me, and you know, I just hope that when I do go back it'll be a round of applause, because I feel I deserve that, you know, for what I've given the fans and for what I've done for Charlton and how I've played.
And in Chelsea's team of multi-talented, multinational squad players, you may be surprised to hear one of the reasons he wanted to jump on the Stamford Bridge bandwagon.
There's a lot of English players here, and it's helped a lot really in my decision, because as an English player you're coming into a squad which you're quite familiar with in the faces and that, so hopefully it won't take me too long to settle down.
And he'll have the chance to do so going straight into the squad for the game at Blackburn this weekend. He'll miss the next home match though. It's probably for the best.
Right, then on to two Chelsea players who aren't in the good books at the moment. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, he's